Revenge is a Chevron best served cold. This is Rip Roaring Garage. I'm Alex. Chevron is suing the EPA after 4 decades of waiting, aided by the Supreme Court ruling we discussed about last week that overturned the 1984 Reagan-era Chevron Doctrine, or Chevron Deference. Deference, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it doesn't matter, because this is paving the way for vengeance. And who doesn't like a good dog pile? Because this lawsuit has been joined by so many organizations and individuals that it's insane. I told you, this is how it starts. It won't be the major car manufacturers. It's going to be the little guys. Who are these little guys? Well, it took me a while to kind of compile from a bunch of different news sites, Blaze Media, Daily Caller, Just the News. So we got Exxon-Mobile, the American Petroleum Institute, the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, the American Farm Bureau, the National Corn Growers Association, Eskimos joining the fight, and about 5,000 dealerships. I'm going to need more fingers. Blood is in the water. Now, we've had some beef with car dealerships in the past due to all the markup insanity. And even the Farm Bureau, there is plenty to criticize when it comes to right to repair. Farm equipment can't be repaired with the turn of a wrench and a piece of baling wire anymore. You know what? Stop condescending us. We got the equipment. We got the tools. Independent mechanics, we know what we're doing. However, rather than infighting, we can do that later. It's time to pool our resources and fight the EPA boss fight. Because the truth is, like Ryan Myers, the API Senior Vice President, said, today we are taking action to protect American consumers, U.S. manufacturing workers, and our nation's hard-won energy security from this intrusive government mandate. Now, I do want to jump over to Blaze because there's another really cool quote. This guy, he's down with it. He knows what's happening. The EPA is forcing a switch to a technology that simply does not presently exist for these kinds of vehicles. And even if it were someday possible, it will almost certainly have consequences for your average American. In other words, we don't care. Even if you can do it, we don't want this. Like the dealerships have said, a large number of auto dealerships are pushing back on the new regulations set forth by the White House pertaining to electric vehicles. But Diesel Dog, you could have one of those with 2.6 0 to 60 miles an hour, and you would be driving like a fully enclosed gigantic golf cart. That's from the Challenger forums. Gotta love these guys, man. Now, some of you guys already know this, but the sheer size of the list of plaintiffs is massive, and many more are joining in. Probably by the time you see this, there's gonna be like 5 more major ones. But I'm gonna say this again for all the naysayers. This is what I said would happen. It's gonna start with a couple of small organizations, and little by little, the bigger ones are gonna dogpile on this thing. Now, it's going to take time before the auto manufacturers change strategies. They're like big boats that need time to course change. Yeah, I made a boat reference. Check out the description for the Speedboat t-shirts. Today, I'm wearing a Speed Metal because I was working out, doing my Challenger challenge. So help me stay afloat while I wade through these shark-infested EPA waters. Okay, no more boat puns. Lawyers are focusing on the EPA's mandate of selling 56% EVs by the year 2030. I know, right? I had the same thought too. Other organizations and dealerships are focusing on NHTSA's corporate average fuel economy standards. They want cars to get 50 miles per gallon again by 2030 and 2032, which is just not happening. Not unless you got like some 2-piston freaking horrible thing that nobody wants to buy. Again, check out that video because I go in depth into the 4 major points of CAFE and why they have a really good leg to stand on. So let's frame this again. The increased cost of fuel, additives like DEF, the disaster that EV trucking is. Sorry, Elon, they suck. All of this would basically put 96% of all truckers out of business. So yeah, this one dedicated to my CDL drivers. If you're an owner-operator or if you're a small coach company. That's right. I started off driving buses myself, coaches just like that one. So Todd Spencer of the Owner-Operators Independent Drivers Association said this rule would devastate the reliability of America's supply chain and ultimately increase the cost for consumers. Mom and pop trucking businesses would be suffocated by the sheer cost and operational challenges of effectively mandating zero-emission trucks. But this administration appears intent on forcing through its deluge of misguided environmental mandates. Bravo, Mr. Spencer. He also said to subscribe and hit me a like. That's a bad joke. I can't pull off that like, share, and subscribe line that other guys do. I'd have to have Hunter Parmesan energy for that one. So on top of current inflation that doesn't exist, the new EPA and NHTSA regulations would add price increases that would raise logistics costs, manufacturing costs, higher R&D, and all of this gets passed down to you and me. Maybe DC doesn't realize this, but we don't like being over the barrel. We're actually over angry pixies in our cars. And while we're at it, we're over cars and tech companies selling our private data. We're definitely over that. So these lawsuits are looking the EPA dead in the eye and asking, who's your daddy now, bitch? All this is important because it's the smaller truckers, the smaller companies, dealerships that cannot survive anymore. They cannot survive these unconstitutional regulations, and they have no other choice but to fight in court. Now, sure, it won't hurt having big oil company money as well, along with their Beltway bandits. Those sharks are smelling blood. Hey, that's a shark joke, not a boat pun, okay? I kept my word, and while this happens, I can guarantee you this. Every car company is having meetings and scrambling to figure out what their strategies are going to be. That future is electric stuff? Yeah, that's definitely on the table being questioned. Last time something this big happened was 40 years ago when the Chevron Deference, Chevron Doctrine, became legal precedent. One of my older videos, when I said Pontiac's going to be back, you better believe that GM is taking this really seriously. And I can guarantee you, they're already planning a new lineup. That and MInitrucks. Lord knows from all your comments, holy moly, people want MInitrucks again. So I'm looking at you, Dodge, with your 2026 Dodge Dakota. This is not a mini truck. There is something happening with this year, though. However, if Dodge is smart, which probably they're not, they should redesign this, not just use a South American model. We want mini trucks, small, like Ford Rangers, S10s, and yeah. Hell, even like the size of the old XJ Jeeps. That was awesome. Now imagine this. It's 2025. T-Dog is back. Pontiac is back. You're doing a burnout with the big V8. Smell of high test and smoky tires. And gorgeous women by your side. T-tops, high-test gas, bikini tops dropping, and no low-T men, and bam! You've got yourself a Pontiac baby boom. Population increasing exponentially. Social Security is saved. Positive traction tire marks everywhere, and a generation of women preggers with twins. Okay, so maybe Pontiac won't bring on the next baby boom. But these lawsuits will definitely have an impact. They will usher in the downfall of the EPA, along with NHTSA, and pretty much every single federal agency that is filled to the brim with activists and people that have ideological bents that are not in our interest. And if you don't believe me, check out my last video. Think of it as a poll. Read through those comments. Look at how people think, not just about what they want, mini trucks, Pontiacs, and whatever, but they hate the EPA. Of all the agencies, this is the one, the lightning rod. It's this one and the Alpha Tango Foxtrot. You know them. And after you've read all those comments, if that doesn't give you a freedom boner, I don't know what does. And for the few of you that watch Razor Fist, since he's not doing it, I will. I'm Alex. This is Rip Roaring Garage, where oil is thicker than blood. Hand me that like and God fucking speed. Mom and pop trucking? No. Mom and truck. That's a blooper.